Good morning, folks. How y'all doing? Day two. I need a lot of coffee. So yeah, we did a lot of meetings yesterday. I was taking some pics throughout the day and stuff like that. I tried to give you some info and things like that. They were good meetings. Everything went pretty well. It's raining a lot here, but luckily it wasn't crazy. So I survived that pretty well. But no matter what, when you're doing like 5, 6 meetings in a day, it kind of wears you out. So, and yeah, I did post a pic on Common Rider, and just so everyone knows, because I don't want people completely freaking. I like to keep people on their edge, but the thing is that as far as the pic I gave you, it was more along the lines of just that I arrived at their offices. Okay, so but we discussed a lot of Toku. In fact, I would say pretty much in most of the meetings, Toku was mentioned in one way or another. Obviously, at Toei, I'm tired, people. I'm sorry. At Toei, there was a lot of talk about Kamen Rider, so do expect some good things to come out of it. The way it works, I've done this for years, is you go there, you may have issues already on the table as far as, releases you're doing. We talked about, Dyad, and we talked about those releases. And then you talk about future releases and what's up for acquisition, new titles you don't know. I actually saw a lot of posters of stuff that I thought were amazing. You just walk through their offices and you go, what's that? And some of it, may work pretty well for you. I didn't know, like, Kamen Rider had a Kamen Rider double anime. He showed me the poster of it. I was like, "That's Double," and he said, "Yes, that was based on Double." And he goes, "Yes, we know that one is really popular." Um, so we talked about a lot of different things, other Toku stuff, and with the other companies too. There was, like I said, some of that. We did a lot of also strictly anime companies. There is Cannes coming up in a week or so. So we caught a lot of the movie companies right before Cannes. So that's a little bit more difficult for them because they are prepping for Cannes. But the anime companies obviously don't do that. And they have different areas. You have the TV area, the movie area, you have the animation area. So depending on what you're trying to do, you'll meet with a different person, and then you'll also wind up doing, talking about other things. So I'm really happy. Big thing was the bundles. Yes, the bundles are really important in that I'm noticing for us especially, we're trying to be that collector company, that one who kind of like really tries to put everything into the release, get more specialized titles, do that, and I feel that it's working pretty well. KR definitely set the road for that. I think it really changed Media Blasters in terms of that. We're back to what I feel we were, which makes me really happy. I have nothing against the adult anime or the hentai or anything like that, but it just became that's what we were. And we're not ever going to completely drop it or anything like that, but I want it to be what it was. It was always just a side note, something that we release, something that people want, and we have no problem in providing that. It's more along the lines of just that Media Blasters was a lot more. It was doing Kenshin, it was doing Versus, it was doing, big titles and stuff like that too. So while I don't think we're going to hit those high notes again, I do think we could become that collector company that does focus on titles, gives it a lot more, puts in the effort. And I was explaining that to every company. One of the reasons you come here is, first of all, I haven't been here, believe it or not. I think it's almost about 10 years because my Suica card wasn't working anymore. There wasn't a need. It was more everything was done through email. We were kind of just in a grind of just doing, because I didn't see much in terms of that, how we were going to really grow the company or grow the market. And now I see that. So that was one of the reasons I came here and one of the reasons I did that. So I do believe, in fact, they believe as well, that shows like Kamen Rider, they've become now what anime was, as that growing marketplace, and people are learning about it. People now are into it. They have some big plans, by the way, in terms of giving you guys access to a lot more of it. So, Amazon did have a big role in that, but there's a lot going on with that. On the anime side, we tried to explain to them about doing the bundles like we're doing with Nanako and giving them, t-shirts, whatever. And they understand and they see that that could be a successful strategy. They also think, the 4K. I explained to them how Fudo was really done well on 4K. Pinocchio 964 was done well on 4K. They want to do more 4K as well. So some of the companies, they don't have the ability, or it's too expensive for them to do the 4K. So we're going to try and do it for them. And we can also release those titles, work with them on it. We're going to become more that niche collector company that releases some really good stuff, and really, becomes that type of thing with, again, we'll still do the adult stuff. We'll still do some of the more what I call ecchi stuff, even though everybody thinks, when a person comes up to me and says Lady versus Butler is adult, or, oh God, it's hentai when they see Kanekon. I mean, I don't know if they really watched the show, but the thing is just when they just see, the images, it just doesn't make sense. But I think that we can still be that and do it on our level. I did meet with a lot of producers, but I met with the director and the producer of some of our big titles like Tokyo Gore Police, Dead Trance. We had dinner together. We talked a lot about doing other stuff. So who knows what's on the horizon. You do a lot of exploratory stuff. You do a lot of checking into things. I think, again, it was very successful. Day 2 is coming. This one is a short trip. So this is my last day of doing actually business meetings. A lot of good ones again here. And then I'm going to do a little bit of more shopping and vacationing type thing. But this shows me how important, and it really is important, to come out here, meet with the folks, discuss the titles, and try and get something going. So a little bit of the old school can work. So I'm going to get ready now for my next transformation scene into businessman John, and start doing again the meetings. But otherwise, you guys have a great one wherever you are, and we'll talk again soon. I'll be doing more picks and stuff throughout the day. Take care.